Hi, guys. Welcome back. Listen, this particular weekend, I needed to do some yard work. In fact, I had multiple projects that I needed to get done this weekend. First of all, on the list was to go out and get the yard done. So I was going to work from the outside in this particular Saturday morning. And one thing about the Pacific Northwest, guys, we have to deal with moss in our yards. And I have to say, I'd gotten behind on care for the yard and staying up on top of that moss. So this particular Saturday, I had to go out, get in the yard, and spread this moss cleaner, trying to, well, it's a clear to kill the moss and help maintain the yard because it was also a fertilizer for the lawn, but I needed to address the moss that was growing. You know, we had these massive floods a few weeks ago. So with all of the moisture and with all the rain, I needed to get out and do some maintenance on the yard this particular Saturday morning. But as I was saying, guys, I had so many projects to do on this Saturday morning. And of course, like I said, doing the yard was first up. And I'm out here trying to do this yard, and the yard is like slipping in the back. I think I'm going to have to get a retaining wall right in front of the fence because it has gotten to be just like this big dip, and I have to really be careful, how I'm walking so that I don't fall against the fence. And of course, I had to do the back and the front yard. I don't think the front is as bad as the backyard, but it's just one of the things you have to stay up on the maintenance. And then I was clearing off the front porch as well. Honestly, I had bought these mums and they were really pretty, but they died. They didn't stay long, and I hadn't removed the planters that they came in, and I needed to get those off the porch because I set them in planters that I have, and those planters were full of water and they just weren't any good, and I needed to remove them, but I need to let them sit and dry out a bit before I tossed them because they were still heavy and I wasn't about to try to lift them in a bag and put them in the garbage can. And so once I'd done that, I just needed to tidy up the materials that I had, like the moss clearer, I should say, the moss killer. I needed to just, collect the rest of that and put it back into my organization system because I'm still proud of my garage and how I have everything set up. And I just needed to put that everything away. And then the last thing I needed to do, I still had to go and do some weed clearing. So here I'm just spraying the weeds in the yard because, I needed to stay up on top of that. And along with what I'm trying to do this year, guys, I really want to get back in shape. So I'm endeavoring to spend 20 to 30 minutes a day on the walking pad that I have. And here I'm just trying to do that. So after doing the yard that morning, I got on my little walking pad and wanted to do that. And then I cool down or kind of relax my body by stepping onto this vibration plate. Listen, if you don't have one of these, I mean, you will feel the circulation moving throughout your entire body. And you finish this and you feel like you've had a massage. I love this thing. Early in the morning, late at night, I just love to get on this because, I mean, it shakes everything, but you feel so good. After I'd refreshed myself, it was time to start on the indoor projects. Now, I am not finished with my room, not nearly finished. And you can see this big wall. I have not decided what I am going to do about this big wall behind my bed. Now, my idea right now, I'm thinking to do a wall, a board and batten wall, similar to what I have in my office, but a different design, of course. But I'm thinking about doing a board and batten wall going up at least three quarters of the wall, at least to where you can see the end of that kind of triangle, the two sides there, those angles to the wall. But today, what I was doing was I had these mirrors that I purchased, quite a while ago. And I decided I wanted to paint those today. And that had been on my mind to do for a while. That's the color that I was going for, this antique gold. Those mirrors were, the trim on them were black. And I wanted to paint them gold to match the gold that you see on the two lamps. And so I had purchased the paint from Michael's, and this was going to be the project for my bedroom today, was to finally get these mirrors painted. And of course you can see that I've taped them off and I'm getting ready to paint. guys, and so here I'm just trying to get a good angle to show you. Here is how it came out. The light, it's not as easy to see with the lighting, so I get a little closer, and I'm really pleased with the match between the gold that's on the lamp and the gold that's on the mirror. So that's what I was aiming for. So I am pleased with the painting project this weekend, and I was able to clean up my little messes.
Okay, guys. Oh boy, this weekend of projects is still going on. All right, this is the final project that I need to complete this week. Final thing around the house. I have been wanting to do frames for the two chinoiserie canvas paintings that I had in my office. I found some frames at Michael's. However, they were not like the gold, but they were this pretty bronze. So my bright idea was to get the frames and see if I could paint them. And I actually have two, you can see. So I've taped these off. I've put the canvas paintings inside of the frames. And I'm going to try and paint this, see if I can paint these frames, even if I just paint this top section here. So I have two, and that's what I'm working on today, guys. So fingers crossed this comes out okay. Okay guys, so I have just one coat on. I think I'm gonna have to do a second coat, but thankfully this paint is really forgiving, but it will be easy also for me to get it off once it's dry, because I was able to get it off easily off the mirrors that I did yesterday. So I will have to, and I've applied a couple of coats already, but I think I'm gonna have to let it dry really well, and then I'll be able to put on another coat, and that should do it. And I think I'm gonna like these kind of antique gold frames. That's what I needed. I just had these hanging up on the mat that they came on, and I think I'm just gonna need to do I like the frames, and that way I can get it off of the mat. You know, so you can see that I took these off. I cut these off the frames that they came on so that I could put them inside of those kind of like poster frames. But I just wanted to zhuzh up the poster frames and at least just paint them gold. Hoping that will set that right in the office. It'll look nice. So I can show you the curtain rods that I have in the kitchen and living room, or in the living room, dining room area. So these are the curtain rods that I want to purchase for my office. I'm just going to purchase another set of those for my office. I'll finally hang up some drapes in there, and I really like that. So that color gold will match this curtain rod as well. So I really like those. I think I got that from Amazon, but I really like that. So that's what I'm going for in there. And I think I'm just going to have to let it dry. I want to let it dry. I have time. I may go do another coat tonight, and then it can dry overnight, and I'll be ready to hang it back in my office tomorrow. But I think I'm going to come downstairs now since I've finished that. I've been cleaning up stuff. I've been spilling stuff everywhere. Okay, guys. So I tell you, that is a wrap for me for this weekend. All right, guys. Well, listen. What a weekend, guys. What a weekend. I have been so busy this weekend. This is coming to the end of all the weekend projects that I had to do, including just now completing my day with a Costco haul. I didn't get a lot, but I did spend a lot of money. You know, it doesn't take much to rack up the bill at Costco, but I got a good deal on some cookware that I have been looking for a while. I've been searching and researching cookware, trying to decide on a good brand, another set of cookware, because the set of cookware that I currently have, I've had it for 20 years. So I think I was due for a set of cookware. Plus it was, you know, the older type of cookware with the non-scratch or non-stick surface that actually does scratch. So it's kind of a little beat up and sticking. So I thought it's time for some cookware. So let's just kind of do a recap of what I've been doing this weekend. I'll show you the projects that I had to work on, and let's just kind of close those out. So I show you the before and after of the bedroom. You saw me make over the mirrors that I did in my bedroom. I purchased those, they were black. I thought that was the color I wanted to go with. And as I looked at it, I thought, no, I really want this mirrors to be gold. That's the color that I need. And I purchased the mirrors with that in mind, that I could purchase them, they were black, and I could always paint them. And so that's what I did this weekend. That turned out much better. I am not through with my room. I do need to do something with that big wall that my bed sits on, but you know, I'm not trying, I can't do everything. I'm trying to work on each room. I haven't just like finished one room totally. I've been doing pieces here and there, but it's getting there. It takes me a minute to kind of sit and feel and think about the things that I have, think about what I want to add in before I can just get everything all at once. I'm a little bit slower decorator, but once I get it and I have the look and the feel that I'm looking for, I'll be settled with it. Okay, so let's look at my Costco haul. All right, so today, guys, I happened to go into Costco, and you know they always get you. They had these Calvin Klein joggers. It was a 2-pack, very reasonable. You know, I love to lounge and things like this, so I did pick these up. And this is a French terry. There's this blue color, which, you know, blue is my color. And then they had a gray. And I do have like a pullover hoodie that's Calvin Klein that I can wear with this color gray. Even though this color gray is lighter than the ones that I have, I can still use those with that. The second thing is I purchased some of these ankle socks. And here's the issue that I find. Most of the socks that I buy, you know, they cut off just below the ankle bone. And I couldn't find the socks that come all the way up. Reason being, when I wear my shoes, the socks tend to go down under my tennis shoe, and it is so annoying. And I have to keep taking off my tennis shoes and putting on the, putting my shoes back on because the sock is sinking down below. So they finally had some of these ankle socks in that I could simply use. Here's some cheese that I love to get from Costco. This coastal cheese, I love it. I think this is a Kirkland brand, but there was another brand in the store that used to make this aged cheddar, but I love this cheddar. In fact, I have just a little bit in the refrigerator left, and I mean just a corner. And so I like to put this on, of course, on my avocado toast that I put on English muffins. So when, and here's the avocados that I bought. And so I love to put this cheese on my English muffins and then spread my avocados on top of that. But this is some excellent cheese. If you ever do it on the croissants too, man, I'm telling you. And so then today I also picked up this organic copper kettle Parmesan cheese. I heard it's supposed to be really good, but I've been wanting to get some of this anyway to put on my salads that I like to buy, which is something else I picked up today. So I want to try this for that. In addition to this, I did the lobsters. I bought the lobsters a couple of weeks ago, and they're in the freezer in the bag. And I'm planning to do like a lobster dish. I want to try to recreate this dish that I had on my last cruise. So I know that it had a little Parmesan cheese in it. So that's the other reason that I bought that today. And then a guilty pleasure, I picked up some of these corn chips because sometimes I like to just make some guac, and then just have some dip. But I bought these green chili firecrackers. I love these for just a quick snack. I love to do those and just really quickly in the air fryer. And of course, I had to pick up some more eggs because I'm out of eggs. They didn't have the brand that I usually get. All they had was the Kirkland brand today. So, I just went ahead and got them because I'm nearly out. And of course, here are the salads that I like to purchase. This is a Simply Fresh. It's a real quick salad. This one is the ultimate BLT salad. And I really like that. It comes with everything that you need for your salad. Now, sometimes I will make my own meat. Like yesterday, I cooked tilapia. So I didn't do the chicken, and I hardly ever do the croutons, but I didn't do the chicken. I basically did the lettuce and the tomatoes. I think I did bacon bits on that one, I think. But usually I may save those two meats if I cook my own meat. Like today, I'm going to do chicken wings. And so I won't do this meat. I will wrap that back up and save it for another day when I have another salad and I'm not doing a meat, and I will make just the chicken and the bacon that's on the salad. So I'll have like 2 servings and I'll put that together in a salad bowl. So I'll have that. And so that's not all of my Costco haul and why it was pricey today. I won't tell you how much Okay, and so the last thing I purchased from Costco was this stainless steel cookware set because, as I mentioned, I have been looking for a nice set of cookware for a while now, and they had this in stock. In fact, I really love that. They had this in the sale paper a few weeks ago for like $200, I want to say. And maybe it was marked down a little bit more, but today when I went in store, it was actually marked down even more. They had a few in stock. They got a few in. It's this 12-piece set. I think it has like 7 pots and, let me see, 7 pots and 5 tops is what it has. So all of the pieces that I need, because like I was saying, the set I currently have, I've had for 20 years. It's 2026. I have had that set for 20 years and it's time to let it go. It's sticking. It's just, there's no telling what's coming up off of it. But the stainless steel these days is the way to go. I understand, but you can't cook without coating it first, and that's okay. So I did purchase this, so that's what really ran my bill up today. And then the very last thing I bought today was, you guys know that I have been trying to figure out what to do with this wall. And I know that the design I want to go with in here is the chinoiserie design. And I have searched and searched. There was a beautiful wall screen divider, whatever you want to call it, that I found, but I messed around and waited too late and the thing was gone. And I thought, oh, that would be perfect for this wall, size and everything. And I really wanted to go up high and come down quite a bit low on this wall is what I wanted. And then to go across the wall really wide. The other option was to look at wallpapers. The problem with the wallpapers, I wanted a scenery, but I just wasn't finding something with the scenery, with the colors. And then I thought, well, if I do the wallpaper, I wasn't crazy about, when the wallpaper and the pattern just repeats. I really didn't like that, but I just said, that may be what I'm going to have to do, is maybe go with the wallpaper. But I was actually looking for a painting today for this wall is what I was looking for, but I came across these paintings that were in, At Home. I went to At Home, and I came across this picture, and I'm going to turn those around and let you see kind of what I'm thinking about. But the picture that I had up there, it was nice. It covered the mantle, but it's not going to be the right decor. It's not in the chinoiserie style. So I'm trying to find something in the chinoiserie style, and I may have to just make something that's going to go with these pictures if once I turn these around and I think that they work. I put them down there. I'm going to turn them over and see what you guys think about it. And then I'm going to think about it a few days and just sit it there and think about it a few days and see if I think that's the way I want to go. And then I will either keep them. I don't know if it's going to be the width that I want, if I want to add one more. I'm thinking, now that I see them right side by side, I'm thinking that's going to be an okay width. But I'm going to turn them around. And I just thought, well, for difference, what I could do is flip one up the other way, like turn one on its head to break up the pattern and the way the colors are going. But you know, it'll be the same picture like these pictures are up here. So that's like the same picture that I have of the dining room. And I think what I did, actually I didn't turn those. I left both of them going the same way. I thought I turned one on its head, but I didn't. So I need pictures, paintings that are going to, of course, go with that will align with that. And then I have to bring something in up here that goes with these, and that will also go with these. Okay, so hold your breath. Let me go turn these pictures around and let's get your opinion. Okay, guys, so here are the three pictures, the colors. What do you think about these on the wall here? And then, of course, I would do chinoiserie style pillows. Like, I want to bring out the navy blue in here is what I want to bring out. So, of course, I would change the pillows. The pillows would be in the chinoiserie style. I'm thinking some velvet, floral chinoiserie, solid velvet, maybe some plaid velvet or something like that to bring in the chinoiserie style. What do you think about those? As I stand back and look at them, I'm like, oh my goodness, I love those pillows. And although these pillows are not necessarily chinoiserie, they do have all of the colors. They do have most of the colors that are in there, aside from like pink. Doesn't have pink, but it does have the other colors in there. The blue, gold, bronze, gray, you know, grays, light gray, dark gray, some greens. It does have all the colors. I am liking the dark on there. And I think doing all three, because I think I need to slide it down a little bit. I have to measure and make sure. But I would, and all I did was like this middle one, I flipped it so that this color, this more pinkish rose, is at the top and that's down at the bottom. That's what I did. That's all I did. But I'm thinking with that dark background, that gray, which is what I wanted, something a little bit moody. I'm thinking I like those. I'm thinking that I like those. Anyway, guys, listen, if you look at this, please comment in the comment section. Tell me what you think about the pictures. What do you think about the size of them? If you think that's going to be okay, let me know what you think. And let's get a closer look. You can come up a little closer and see. I love these. I think this is what I want. I think this is the way I want to go. I thought about getting one more, but I actually I don't think I need one more. I don't think I'm going to need one more. And I think to separate the wall from the height, what you have up top to the bottom, I think they're a good length. They're only, so lengthwise, they're 47 inches. It's 25 inches across each one, and then 47 inches long, almost 50. So I think that that's going to be okay on that wall. Once I get those up, you can see the height of the wall. And then I just put all three of those up. That will just give me the pop. And then I need something on this wall. And then this, because this wall, I don't know if it actually comes out. It doesn't seem to really come out when I'm doing video, but this wall is really long. That's a long wall. And then these I'm thinking about putting in my office because I really want something like the dark. I need something darker up here because, you know, we've got all of this light. I want something darker, and that's the mount for TV, but I don't keep a TV in my, like, your main living room. I have one upstairs. But yeah, I think those are the pictures that I want. It's got the antique gold that I wanted. It's, you know, the goldish kind of color I want. So I have the gold there, and then I have the gold in those, and it's got the black rim with the gold, and that's the same way in the frame. I just need to find something else up there. So yeah, I think I'm going to like those. All right. Comment in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Okay. And so then the last thing was to see, here are the pictures that I was working on upstairs. Remember, these were my chinoiserie vases because that's the style I'm going with in here. These are my chinoiserie vases that I framed. They're on canvas, but I reframed those, not reframed, I framed, I took them off of the wooden frame, put them in these frames, and that's just a poster frame. It was kind of like, some kind of like a metal frame, but I painted the facing of it because I wanted it gold. You can see that my flower is trimmed in gold, right? And so then I also have this flower pot is trimmed in gold. Y'all forgive the dead leaves. And then my little lamp that I have is trimmed in gold, right? So that has the gold stand. So that's why I was trying to bring in gold, more gold in here in the room. So I'm liking that. Now the curtain rods that I have in the living room, I will be getting those for in here. And the curtain, I kind of have an idea of the curtain that I want. It's kind of something, it's white, but it has these little pom-poms on it that kind of remind me of that. It just has some little pom-poms on it. So I'm thinking about getting those curtains, and they're light, they're sheer, but I may put something, I don't know if I put something behind it because I do want to cover this window, but I'm thinking about just going ahead and getting some blinds, motorized blinds, because when I sit in here at night, it is kind of creepy. I will say at night, because people, I don't know, they like to see people living their life. So when my lights are on, man, it's just like an attraction, and people just start driving by. They just start driving by. So I think I do want to get motorized blinds in here. And then I think I'm going to be done with my office. So curtains and blinds, and I'm going to be done with my office. And I may move those two vases in here and put them here on the stool or on the, and then you see my little chinoiserie pillow. I have another one over there that I need to put a pillow filling in, and that will be done. So that's what I was doing, guys. That's how the project came out, with putting my two paintings inside of the frame. So yeah, I'm pleased with that. Pleased with that, how that turned out. And so guys, that's it for my weekend. And so guys, that's it for my weekend. It has been a weekend. I've accomplished a lot, starting with the yard, getting up early, doing the yard, getting all these projects done this weekend, doing my grocery haul. Now I've got to put these things up before they ruin. This needs to go in the refrigerator. I love my paintings. I think I'm going to keep those, and I only need the 3. So that's what I'm going with. And I just need to find something for the mantle. But done the office, that's done. Check, I can check that off. But I'm tired. Well, so I've done all the things, and I am ready to prepare myself for next week. Anyway, guys, thank you all for hanging out with me this weekend and all of my little projects. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel, because it'll continue to help my channel grow. Okay, guys, I will see you guys again soon, if the Lord says the same. Bye now.
This God kind of life.
and it is the best kind of life. I'm living for him. I have joy in my soul and peace in my home, 'cause I'm living for him. I'm living this God kind of life, and it is the best kind of life. I'm living for him. I have joy in my soul and peace in my home, 'cause I'm living for him.